I'll take the next one. A Christmas Story, 1983, Peter Billingsley, directed by Bob Clark. Okay. A Christmas Story. I love that movie. I really do. It hits differently the older you get. Sam was mentioning that earlier, and I'm not going to take that bullet point from him. But the movie itself is great. It's just this kid telling the story. Now, again, I'm going to talk about this because you go back and look at this, and in the beginning of the movie, he talks about his greatest, hey, this is my greatest Christmas memory. But he gets shit on that whole movie,
Yeah.
which makes the rest of his life very sad. Like, shoots his eye out, gets kicked in the face by Santa. He gets soap in his mouth. He beats up a bully. Like, all these like terrible things happen to him. But it's his best Christmas, and again, that gets super sad. But if you don't think about it in those terms, it's a fun movie. It is, and him playing with his wild imaginations. I have no doubt things like that was kind of like the inspiration for shows like Scrubs, where he goes off in his little fantasy land and imagines these things. And it is an overall fun movie. I watch it probably 2 or 3 times Christmas Day when it's playing on I think it's TNT, whatever they call it now, 24 hours for the day. But it's always a good movie to have on in the background. It is it's just so excellent. Um, and yeah, I'll let Sam hit his
So,
bullet point now.
so I grew up absolutely hating this movie, despising it. I could not understand why there was 24 hours of this movie on what was it like TCM or something like that. I couldn't understand it. I was like, the dad is an asshole. He's an overbearing jerk. All this stuff. And then I watched it again this last weekend, and I was like, that's a good dad. Like he's trying. He's doing everything he can to keep that roof over his family and provide for his family. He's taking his kid to see Santa. He's taking his other kid to see the parade, like all in the same night. Like that's a
Hmm.
good dad. And
Yeah.
it was eye opening to me because I hadn't watched it in probably 5 or 6 years, and I've had 2 kids since then, and it was eye opening to me that my entire viewpoint on him had completely changed,
Hmm.
and like I almost to the point of tears that I was like, man, like he's doing the best he can. He's working hard to keep his family and make his family have a good Christmas,
And
and
one of the best scenes in that though with the dad is where he chases the dogs out of the house and he's just yelling nonsense at them, and he's just
The
out there going,
Bumpus,
no.
no, 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 no.
No,
the
So
Bumpus
great.
the
dogs
best scene with the dad is when the tire
for
blows on
Felix.
the side of the road. The tire blows on the side of
Yeah.
the road. He's out there trying to swap the tire out, and the sun comes out, and that's the first instance of oh fudge. And the dad's like, "What'd you say?" And he looks at him. He's like, "Get back in the car." He's not mad. He's not angry. He's not yelling or anything like that. He's just like, just go back, go sit back in the car. And then he sits back down in the car, or the dad comes back in after swapping the tires, sits back down in the car, looks at his wife and says, "You know what your son just said?" Like that right there was just that's dad to me. Like holy
Yeah.
cow, that just nailed it.
Yeah. No, that is a great scene. I just love like that, just his rambling as he's chasing the dogs out. For some reason, that makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
Um, and
So
you get to the end where you understand why it's such a good movie, or why it's such a good story for him. Just like his family eating out at the Chinese place after all the stuff happens. And, it's just like, hey, my family was
No
together
fa ra
even on
ra,
this terrible
fa la
fucking day.
la.
so
Rah, 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 rah.
the dad, I just think it's funny because the dad's just kind of adorable because like he's so excited about his lamp. First of all, like he's just an adorable guy. Yeah, he loves his family and stuff like that. Number two, Ralphie, he does get shit on, and everybody feels it when he beats up the bully.
Oh,
Like
dude.
everybody who gets shit on every day at work and everything feels it come out of you when he just beats the shit out of that bully.
Even more.
Great actor. That bully's a great actor, by the way, in a lot of stuff.
Even more, I felt it because he's beating up the bully and saying all the cuss words, but he's got tears coming out of his eyes. And man, the first time I ever dealt with something like that, it was the same thing. It was like, I'm whooping shit, but tears are coming out of my eyes, and I don't know what to do with the emotions other than keep pounding fist. Like, you feel that because it just brings you back to that moment as a kid.
But like throughout the movie, though, he's like imagining the teacher giving him a good grade and all this stuff. You know, like he's imagining doing good. He's imagining the Red Ryder BB gun. He's like fantasizing and stuff like that. Like, you know,
so
he's just being like watching it now. You're just seeing this kid just being a kid. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of watching this kid be traumatized and then letting it all out.
Yep.
Like from a therapist point of view is kind of what I'm seeing.
Do either of y'all still have your first Red Ryder?
Oh no, I got it taken away because I shot at my neighbor.
See, I've got my first Red Ryder, and that's going to my firstborn son.
Not my neighbor, his window.
And then I'll get him.
I'll
get him at 22, and I'll give the Red Ryder to my second-born son.
But so many iconic scenes in that movie. You know, when his little brother, you know, is dressed in the snow coat and looks like a little starfish running down the street.
The tongue
Such
on
a classic one.
The tongue.
Yeah, that taught us all a valuable lesson about putting our tongue on a cold pole.
You know, they put a vacuum.
That sounded wrong.
They put a.
That's what she said.
We know you've had a lot of
experience. Did you just? That's what she said yourself. I did.
They put
Don't put your tongue on cold poles.
They put a vacuum on a hole.
Yep.
To make that work.
Oh, really?
But I had to look that up to see like how they made that work because it looked so real.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was also funny when the teacher opened the drawer and all that stuff, like the clattering teeth were in it and stuff like that, like little Easter eggs and stuff. But that was such that's such an adorable movie. But also, if you ever get the chance, the Christmas Story house in Cleveland, go check it out. You can actually go see the house, and you can stay at the Bumpus' house next door, and they have a shop and stuff like that, old cars and stuff you can see. It's a pretty cool experience. It's a very small house. You can see the bathroom where Ralphie sat in and had to put soap in his mouth and stuff like that. It's a really cool experience if you ever get the chance to do that.
Oh hell! I was ready to move on, but you brought up the soap, and that was my favorite scene with Mom. Is after she sends Ralphie out, she puts the soap in her own mouth to taste it, and she's like, "Oh my god, no!"
Taste it.
Yeah.
Just to see what she was doing to her own son, like that was another instance of that's a good mom.